Things are now red hot. Bryce Harper has reportedly agreed to a 13-year, $330 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. It comes after a down year for the slugger. Harper hit .249 to go with 34 homers and 109 RBIs in 2018. The Phillies are obviously betting he returns to that MVP form. This comes days after the Rockies extended third baseman Nolan Arenado's contract. His deal is reportedly worth $260 million over 8 years. He hit .297 with 38 homers and 110 RBIs last year. Those numbers go along with some great defense. And of course, shortly before that, Machado inked a 10-year, $300 million deal. His numbers similar to Arenado's, .297, 37 homers and 107 RBIs.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it?
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
It's your boys. I kind of stole that from Matt, but I've been saying that for longer. So
I feel like anybody who says that to a group of guys,
Yeah.
like, yeah, those are your boys over there.
Yeah. So
Whose mans are them?
whose mans are them? I'll tell you whose mans is them. It's the Pickle S boys. Better than the movie Mayhem boys.
Hey, whoa.
Of course. No.
I mean, it's 50-50 either
it's
way.
Oh, okay. All right, that's true. All right, so it's another week. It's an expensive week.
Very
it seems.
expensive.
Very expensive.
People are finally opening up their wallets, throwing out that cash, and here we are. So, right after we recorded our last episode, which was the transaction episode, I think we ended with saying that Machado would break first and sign.
Which he did.
Which he did. He broke first. He signed a 10-year, $300 million with a fifth-year opt-out, but all that money is guaranteed. So no matter what, he's still getting $300 million.
Oh, yeah.
Then, like, maybe 3 or 4 days after he signed, and people saying, oh, Machado, he's going to be unhappy in San Diego. He does blah, blah, blah. He's, he wants to be a Yankee, but he signed in San Diego because that's where the money is. First off, $300 million is one thing.
Yeah, dude.
San Diego Padres have the best farm system in the major leagues.
Not only that, but they live in San Diego.
It's San Diego.
Yeah, like it like,
never rains.
Yeah, it's like expensive there to live there.
But if you have $300 million,
if you have $300 million, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Somebody tried to break it down. They were like, "Yeah, but if you would have signed in New York, you'd get the same size house for the same amount of money." I'm like, he doesn't give a fuck about that.
No,
like he wants to be where the weather's warm 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
And the pressure is low every year.
Yeah, I mean, would it have been nice? Yeah, and exactly that. He doesn't have to play. Like, obviously, we don't know.
Missing the playoffs in San Diego is a lot less stressful than missing the playoffs as a New York Yankee.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of pressure on you if you're a Padre. Yeah, I see. I don't even know if he'd be able to handle the pressure of playing.
I think he's another worldly talent. I think he could definitely do it. It's just that, does he want to do it? No.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget, and I'm a big believer in this, and I know some people don't, but, playing in New York with, like, New York's media and stuff like that, I don't know if he had the mentality. Like, even if he played for the Mets, like, I don't think that he would be able to have the spotlight on him 24/7 as a Yankee.
Do you think with the way the Yankees are made right now, Judge, Stanton, what's his name, Glaber, Paxton, Sevy, the Gary Sanchez, that whole team with all those big names, do you think he'd be the biggest name? Do you think he'd be the guy?
No.
This is the guy. When things fall apart, he's the guy you go to, or you go to Judge.
So I don't think so. I just think that when it comes to the Yankees, it's the media's always talking about who's at blame that game. Mm-hmm. So if we lost the game 7-8 or something like that,
8-7. You mean.
7.
Usually you put the winning score before the losing score.
Oh, I always put my team, like if my team's losing.
Who are you playing?
Well, it's whoever.
What was the box score?
The box score was
how many runners were left on base?
3-2.
What was the fielding percentage of the shortstop?
So no, because if we're playing softball and our team's losing, we'd say, Oh,
We
it's
lost
5-7.
No, we lost 7-5. You always put the winning score above.
No, yeah, but during the
Because that's how math works. You put the higher score above the lower score. Yeah. You're reading it from the box score, so if you're the home team and you're the away team, that's how you'll see it. But if it's when it's winners and losers, it's winning score, losing score.
Also, I always put if my I always put my team ahead.
This is like when you go to Europe and they put the the month in the middle.
Yeah, it's really
it's
weird.
like the day, the month, the
All
year.
right, regardless. Say we lost 8-7.
There you go.
Right?
Oh, so much easier. Symmetry.
You know, nobody will talk about how bad the pitching would be if Manny Machado had 4 strikeouts and grounded into 2 double plays. Like, that would be the
That's a
headline.
lot of at-bats.
Well,
6
you know,
at-bats.
So that's a
big
It's
game.
a big game.
Yeah.
But, everybody would be focused on him playing poorly and him not producing rather than our pitching was terrible, our fielding might not have been great that game. Like, they find the right people to blame. And, the same thing happened with the Jets when they had Tebow. Like, Tebow wasn't playing great, but there was much more things going on with
Tebow was a punt block. He was on the punt team. He wasn't doing anything. They were blaming Sanchez because he was the quarterback.
You're right. Sanchez is who I was thinking. I was thinking about that time. I was thinking about that time when Tebow.
People were like, "Oh, maybe we should put Tim Tebow," and they're like, "Nah, Mark Sanchez is the man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back then the Jets defense wasn't great.
Yeah, but that'd be different if the Jets also had 2 star receivers, a star running back, a star offensive like that. There are more stars on the Yankees now that you could get away with not having a Manny Machado. Miguel Andujar he had 25 home runs last year, I believe, and between the two teams, I think Machado had about 30 something. So you basically have a mini Machado already at third. I think with you thinking of the blame, it would be more of the blame because he's the guy who cost the most.
Yeah. Which is what I was kind of getting at, because the media will see this guy that we're spending all this money on and then realize.
Yeah, they did that to Jason Bay. That poor son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He came in at the wrong time. Financial collapse, Jason Bay signs. Oof.
All right, so Machado gets 10 years, 300 mil. Was there any other signings that just might have dropped?
Nolan Arenado did an 8-year extension for $250 million, which I think makes him more, which made him more the highest paid player, because I think the yearly breakdown would put him over.
Yeah.
But that didn't last too long, because then today, as of Thursday, March 1st, February 28th. Why did I write the rent check? God damn it. All right, whatever. Well, yeah, February 28th. Tomorrow is March 1st. The Thursday, February 28th. Bryce Harper signs 13 years, $330 million, no opt-out, all guaranteed, a no-trade clause. Get at him. Get that money.
Yeah.
Get that money.
Yeah. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
I always wanted to see Bryce Harper as a Yankee.
Well, now you can see him play the Yankees.
Not even that often, too. But actually, this is actually more beneficial to me, because for the longest time I wanted to go to Washington to see him play. But now I don't have to go that much further. I actually have to go in the city of Philadelphia. Never mind. I don't want to see him play anymore.
You could see him play against the Mets.
Field, yeah.
Or
I watched the Washingtons play the Mets once, and he sat that game.
The Washington
Nationals, whatever. He sat the one game that I saw.
Yeah,
him
well,
play, so I was
mean, Philly is a nice town. Apparently, it's got some nice ballparks. I haven't been there yet. I might take a road trip this year. I mean, now there's they've got themselves a fucking squad. So Mikey's looking up the Mets schedule. See when they play. Problem is, it's a spring training schedule.
No, I know. I'm trying to this is regular season.
No, that's all spring training.
No, it's not.
Anything
this is where it ends.
No, it would be in.
No, I know.
April.
I've seen. March 28th.
So they play the Nationals, open up the season.
But that's not who I. All right, so they play the Phillies. What was that?
Middle of April.
April 15th. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
In Philadelphia.
That's in Philadelphia.
Born and
Fucking course,
raised.
dude. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna make it out to
Citizen
game.
Banks Park, or you want to go to like City Field?
Well, I don't really want to go to City Field again.
Why
No-
not? What's wrong with
Nothing wrong with City Field.
What's wrong with City Field?
I've just been to City Field so many times. So,
Because it's nice.
that's true.
It's very nice.
It is a very nice park. The Keith Hernandez burger, really good.
Yeah, it's not the most overrated burger in the place. That's the Shake Shack burger.
That's Shake Shack, yeah, 100%.
Super overrated. Speaking of overrated,
Ooh, I like where this is going.
do you put any real weight into spring training injuries that the Mets have come into? You have Todd Frazier with a strained oblique. You have Jed Lowry, I think, with a knee problem. Also, Clayton Kershaw's got some arm issues.
Yeah.
And there's been a bunch of other smaller injuries around spring training, especially early on. How much do you go like, that worries me? And how much do you like, it's get it over in February and March. Just be ready in April.
So, with spring training for baseball, I kind of dislike how long it is.
You don't like it a month.
Yeah, I don't like that it's a whole month where they're playing constant games, and I understand they have players that they need to like not only warm up but also see how they do. But it's just, you people would say, oh well, football is 4 weeks too, but it's one game a week. Like I
Also-
shouldn't be able to watch the Yankees 3 times
Also,
in a week.
If you're an NFL star, you're really only playing 4 quarters in the preseason.
Exactly.
You're playing like one possession in the first game, maybe 2 possessions in the second, maybe a half in the third game, and then you're not playing at all in the fourth game.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where if somebody triggers an injury or something like that, like sit them the rest of the way. If like they get hurt in the first week and then the third week you want to like maybe plug them in there and see how they do again, make sure they're ready for spring training. Like I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't like do it. I wouldn't keep pushing them to play. Obviously.
I mean, I'm kind of on the opposite end. You're a little bit more. You gear more to the rest so that they last longer in the season. I kind of want to see them get a couple more at bats. Like if not in like game mode, like definitely sim games. Like I want their timing down. I don't want them to miss a step, especially if like a Jed Lowry we just paid.
Yeah.
So I want to see him out there getting his timing down, getting his fielding in. But like, if they're a young guy that I know they're not going to make the team, like all right. So in San Diego's case, if Fernando Tatis Jr. like he pulls up, he's got like kind of a minor strained hamstring. I'll be like, okay, shut it down, champ. Like I need you next year.
Yeah.
Like come back in late May. Like fuck it, I don't care. But yeah, like if you're like a little bit older and maybe you're on a contract or like you know that you're needed, I'm gonna put you on a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's just for me, I've always been a fan of not like killing the players before the season starts.
I also think that how in September they expand the roster to 40 people. I think you should do that at the beginning of the month, beginning of the season. Have a 40-man in the beginning of the season, then cut it down, and then because at the end of the year, you're not going to the playoffs with 40 guys. You're going to the playoffs. It's basically like you're playing the same set lineup. So why not have that be all the way at the end?
That's true. You should have. It should be like a reserve kind of situation.
Like what's more important, like an April 15th game or a September 15th game?
April.
Well, you can't win a championship in April, but you can definitely lose one.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I just think that spring training, as much as when I was a kid, my parents we used to go to Florida for about a week or 2 weeks, and catch because all the ballparks are close to each other.
Right.
We would catch Yankee games during spring training. We would catch 3 or 4 of them in a week.
Nice.
So we'd go to Tampa, we'd go to Orlando, we'd go all over Florida just to kind of follow the Yankees around. But other than that, I don't see an appeal to to spring training.
Yeah.
You know,
Would you be more okay if like there was more like World Baseball Classics, like more like competitive? Like
I love actual competitive off-season stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the World Baseball Classic is something that
when they do like the tour of Japan and they
Yeah.
just like whoop on
yeah,
the guys.
like stuff like that. Like I really enjoy it. You know, I enjoyed that with hockey too. When hockey has like it's like the Olympics, but not I forgot what it's called. Hockey
the
has
world, like they have a World Cup, right? Like that's something.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that they just recently like started getting bigger and bigger. I love that. I think that it's a really smart thing. Basketball has the they have the Winter League, right?
Yeah.
Or
No, they have
the Summer League.
They have
Sorry, I'm sick.
That's why we put the screen on the fucking
That's
microphone. No, yeah, I know what you mean. They have like the exhibitions, and they have like their own small like like their friendlies.
Yeah.
Where the USA team just fucking dominates.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Barcelona.
Barcelona just destroyed Real Madrid in soccer yesterday.
Oh, that's soccer.
Yeah,
LeBron James doesn't play soccer.
that's true. I saw that video of the coach of the Lakers like coaching up everybody, and LeBron James just walks away and like is the whole Plexico Burris thing.
No, it's definitely not. Plexico Burris wishes, but it's like
That's
it's basically like Luke Walton will rally up these young guys, and like LeBron walks away. It's like, oh, well, we're all fucking fired.
All right. So
No,
spring training. How the Mets doing in spring training?
Mets are doing all right. I think what's great about the Mets right now, and I will have to say, with their injuries that they had with Jed Lowry and Todd Frazier, you're getting guys like Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil getting more looks at their normal positions. Mm-hmm. So Pete Alonso is our highly touted prospect. He's their number one first base prospect in Major League Baseball, and he's I think our number 3 prospect overall. Mm-hmm. He the whole thing is that he's going to be playing this year for the Mets, whether it's the beginning of the season or in May when he has that after like the service time and they can control you a little bit more. I think it's a lot better. Like with him, he just like he fucking mashes the ball. First pitch he saw this spring, crushed it over the center field wall.
Yeah,
and he's jacked up out of his face. Jeff McNeil, he's going to be bouncing around a little bit more. He's a natural infielder, but he's played outfield in college, and they want him to be like our starting left fielder. And I'm not a huge fan of that.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of like having somebody who's spent their entire career in one position,
Mm-hmm.
like unless they're an actual utility player.
I'm good with
it looks
guys.
like they're forcing him into left field, and I don't like that.
It's like what they did with Daniel Murphy. It's like we don't have a spot for you, but we have an opening.
Now, see, I believe that if you're a professional player, you should be able to adapt more quickly to switching a position.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe in the mentality of like, oh, a left fielder can't play right fielder. Like, put the fucking left fielder in the outfield for 4 hours training how to catch fly balls in right field, and there you go. He learns how to play right field.
No, there are certain nuances to each position, which we could go into in a later episode. I don't want to go into it now.
No.
But like, I know it's a different view off the bat, and I think that's what ate up Stanton last year in spring training. Like he played a game out and left, and he just got like fucking like. Not exposed, but it just seemed he wasn't comfortable. Yeah. Because he started out as a center fielder, and then he moved over to right. But if you start out as a center fielder, you should be able to play anywhere.
Yeah.
Because that's the most athletic position.
Yeah. So, like, there were talks in previous episodes of Pick Last. That wasn't released. That's right. With our good buddy Perkowski.
Right.
Who
will probably be on the show in due time.
So, when I was talking about Harper getting coming to the Yankees, hypothetically,
I said, eviscerated
you. He like tried to eviscerate me, and he's like, he
can't
play left field. He doesn't know how to play left field, and I'm like,
he took you back to the woodshed and slapped you.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, fucking relax. Second of all,
no, he broke it down very statistically, and it was like, I'm sitting there going like, I don't like Bryce Harper because he was a national.
yeah. But you'd be more than happy if he was on the fucking Mets in left field.
If the Mets came out today and go like, "Hey, fuck it, here's $330 million," I'd be like, "Oh, damn,
yeah, like
cool."
So like, I just don't subscribe to the mentality like. Obviously, something like playing third base and then switching to first base, like that's going to take time. Like if you really need to, like obviously fundamental positions like that are going to be different. Yes, but playing the outfield, I went from playing third base for my entire life, and in one game switched to the outfield
until you're 23.
Well, yeah. So up until I was 23, I played baseball at some point for a competitive, at a competitive level, at third base.
Right.
And because I know how to play baseball and trained baseball pretty much my whole life, when the time was needed for me, like we needed help in the outfield, I was like, I'll go in the outfield. I went into left center field in softball, and ever since then, I've played outfield. Like just because it's like it's not. I know I'm not a professional, but
no, but I mean, also,
reading fly balls is not hard if you've been reading fly balls your whole life.
I hate to be like the guys that compare like beer league softball and Major League Baseball, but I mean, look who you're talking to.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking like on the history of our softball careers. Mm-hmm. It's like you've bounced around. I know we started to do like third base. You played some shortstop, and then like mostly you've been third base and left center, left field.
Yeah,
but then you go to me, third base, shortstop, second base, first base, left field, left center, right center, right, pitcher, and catcher. Yeah. Like I get it. Like you could do like moving positions isn't monumentally the word. It's not like saying, okay, so you play shortstop on this Major League Baseball team, go play center for the fucking Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah. It's not like it's the same world.
Baseball, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like. And that's why, like, I even think that in basketball, if you were to get a point, like, I don't think that switching somebody from point guard to a shooting guard, I don't know much about basketball sports, so never mind. Yeah. All right. So, like, say, like,
if you're a goalie, you can't switch to a a center.
No, but I think that if you're a defenseman in hockey,
you could be a goalie.
You could be like a winger. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like, that's a little bit.
That's a little bit.
I
better.
guess it's a little bit.
Or like a running back should have the same amount of skill as a wide receiver. I think.
Tight end.
Because
they're a little bit
a wide receiver and tight end, or
well, I mean, if you kind of want to look at the same like jobs, you would probably go running back, tight end because they could block and then catch.
I was gonna say running back like should be able to like
a wide receiver
run
and a cornerback.
And do
that's a big
okay,
switch.
yeah. So that's a bait and switch too. Yeah. Like that's one that you could obviously do. A safety.
Right, someone who's like
somebody who's agile and can catch the ball should be able to play both sides of the ball.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel about baseball. If you're a left fielder, you should be able to play right field.
Oh yeah, and there are teams that have rotating outfield platoons. The Dodgers were a big one of them. The Padres, because they had a ton of outfielders, so they just constantly like, today this is what we're gonna do. Tomorrow we're gonna do the opposite. The Yankees don't. They're a little bit more set in their ways because it's, you have because also they could afford to have Stanton as a DH.
Yep.
If they couldn't, if say Gardner and Hicks were out like they were last year, you're gonna have to put Stanton in the outfield.
Yeah.
Like you gotta fill your depth with what you need, but it helps to have guys that are diverse. And if you have a guy like Bryce Harper's played everywhere in the outfield at least 50 times. He's played left field a whole bunch, center field a whole bunch, and right field a lot more. He's going to probably be in right field this year for the Phillies because they signed Andrew McCutchen, and he's a perfect example. McCutchen, center fielder, traded to the Giants, played right field in whatever the fuck they call that place, Pac Bell Park or
Petco? No,
whatever they call San Francisco's park name, AT&T Park. The big fucker.
Yeah, the
big. They call it
I know what you're
the big
about.
Fucker by the water.
Yeah.
And he played out there, and that's a huge fucking outfield. And then he was traded to the Yankees. He played left field mostly for the Yankees. It's a lot of space, but it's a smaller stadium. And now he's going to be playing in Philly smaller stadium.
Super small stadium.
So I mean, like, look, it's good to have ability to play different spots.
Yeah, like a position depth is something that I think
But I think,
professionals
like,
should be more attuned to.
Because Bryce Harper would be like, all right, your $330 million ass is going to be playing just like right field. I think that's why Perk was a little bit more upset, because he'd be like, consistently, defensively, he would be more of a liability at points than if he was moving around.
So based on what Perks was saying, like, I could understand if he wouldn't want Bryce Harper in center field. I could get that, because as you
It's a
said,
big center field.
It's a big center field.
Yeah.
But moving from left to right or right to left shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be a problem, especially if you're a fucking professional baseball player who's getting paid $330 million.
Right.
You train your ass off to make sure you can play left field or right field. Like
20 minutes with the jugs machine just running back. All right,
like I don't. You're a professional player. Like, train like it. You know, like,
No,
it doesn't
yeah.
make sense.
No, yeah, baseball's a lot different now than it was like 20 years ago. So, whew. What else? What else is going on? I mean, other spring training notes. Fernando Tatis looks like a fucking G. Fucking
yeah,
like,
he does.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be really funny to watch, because he's this like mountain of a man just rumbling all over the place. Trying to think. I know MLB Network started 30 for 30.
Yeah,
and I constantly miss it.
you gotta DVR that shit.
No, I gotta. But also, they should have an on-demand channel. I'm just saying. They've been on there for 10 years. Time for on-demand MLB Network.
I found this headline or this tweet very funny. A 4-month-old baby in Boston has seen more championships than a 45-year-old Met, Jet, and Knick fan.
Yeah, that is sad. Wait, a 4-month-old?
4-month-old baby. The Patriots,
The
Red Sox.
Yeah, it's 2.
You're like, oh yeah.
Well, how are they doing in hockey?
I don't even. I haven't really been paying attention to hockey, to be honest, this year.
Okay.
These past few months have been very busy for me.
Okay.
So
All right.
I gotta make sure I could actually like pay attention to baseball this year.
Well, that's why we do it every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So you could just
exactly.
recap the last 10.
I could just recap it.
That's right, because this is the Pick Last 10 with Mike and Brian. 26 minutes in, might as well get our names in there.
Yeah, that's true. I'm Mike.
I'm Brian.
Ooh.
Go on.
All right. So how about this? Through age 20, like the 26th year of their birth, like as a player, they're comparing in 8 seasons at 26 years old. Sorry, that's a better way to do it. Somebody compared Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey Jr., and Mike Trout.
Okay.
And the numbers, very surprising.
Trout's in the lead.
Trout's got 1,065 games with a 307 batting average, 240 home runs, 648 RBIs, 7 All-Stars, and 2 AL MVPs. All right. Griffey, 1,557
Just say
games.
1,500 plus.
No, it's 1,057 games.
Okay.
302 batting average, 238 home runs, which is 2 less than Trout, 7-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove.
Okay. Wow.
So he's like pretty much right there with him. Mickey Mantle, 1,102 games, 314 average, 249 home runs, 7-time All-Star, 2-time AL MVP. And that's 100. That's actually like 45 more games than Mike Trout. Mike Trout's not that far behind.
No, it was also a lot different way back then, because a lot of injuries. If they would have happened back when Mickey Mantle was, but like I think Trout had a problem with his thumb last year, and he would have played. Yeah, because it was a different game. But yeah, like, goddamn, Mike Trout's really good.
That's somebody that should be getting 300, 300 plus mil.
I think I think that someone said today, it's like, if I'm the Angels, I give Mike Trout $396 million because if he gets a free agency, it's going to be like $1 billion. Because he's too good. He's too good.
But, Griffey, too, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Griffey's...
We know.
Fucking love him.
It's the man. He's the kid.
Let's see. Anything else? Any other news that
Any
we can talk about
news?
before we can move on to? Not really.
No,
it's kind of.
It was a good first week of spring training. It was nice to see the games go on. What I like about spring training coverage, and if if you're watching the games, what I like is that because these stadiums are so small, you actually get to hear like kind of a different sound of baseball. You get to hear like a more raw sound of raw sound of baseball. So when you hear the ball hit the bat, like you could tell like, oh, this guy's fucking for real.
Yeah.
Or this guy's like, all right, he's got a couple more years off. Like,
so I know that it was a very shitty situation as to why it happened, but it was 2015, I think it was, or maybe earlier. I forgot what year it was. When the Baltimore Orioles played the White Sox in the empty stadium because of the riots that were going on in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, they played in an empty stadium.
Oh, I know.
And that was...
You don't have to remind me.
No, I know. But, like, that was one of the most, like, pure games of baseball I've ever seen. Like, in the sense of, like... It's as if you were to watch, like, a professional team just by yourself. Like, crowd. Like, no... Like, you just hear, everybody chirping at each other, and you hear just the overall game sound is just like insane. Like they had a way to watch it where you weren't like like you could mute the announcer, so you're just hearing the game park audio, and it was like such a like.
That'd be eerie.
Yeah, it was like really eerie, and it was like something that you don't really you can't get used to. But I wish they did it more.
I would love it. I mean, I do not want that situation to happen.
Oh yes,
again.
100%.
Never
want something like that happening again.
I always find it funny, like if you do play like those empty games where you could hear the players, like even like the let's just say a team in the southern part of America, maybe Miami or Tampa Bay. Not a lot of people are there because the teams are fucking terrible, except Tampa Bay. That just no one cares about them. But like when you could there's no one in the stadium. And then, like, you kind of hear the chirping. I would love to hear, like, they're covering this broadcast, and then all of a sudden you start hearing, like, you motherfucker! I'm gonna fucking get you! Like, it's always, like, super, like, they're probably, like, guys, like, let's be super friendly today. And it's like, someone just fucking takes one off the fucking shoulder, and it's like, motherfucker, get you!
Could you imagine that A-Rod and, who was it?
Veritek?
No, Bronson Arroyo, when he's like "fuck you," and you could like read his lips very obviously saying that.
You could hear it on mute, like it's
All right, so we're half hour in.
That's right.
By the time we film the next episode or record same thing. If we record the next episode, we will be finished with our fantasy baseball draft.
That's right. This is the 10th year, I believe, we're doing it.
Yeah.
This would be our, I think, 8th live draft. Because we did the last 2 years, we did online drafts.
So thank God we're going back to
I
real
fucking
live drafts.
hate online drafts.
Yes.
Hate them with a passion.
100%.
I hate the snake draft. I think it's the dumbest fucking thing. But I've been trying to find out if I'm alone in this. Because when we first started doing fantasy baseball, I never liked the snake draft. That's what always kind of kept me away from fantasy sports.
So snake draft is 1 to 10, and then 10 to 1.
10 to 1, yes. So
in our case, because we play in 10 team.
Yeah, if you go 1 to whatever the last number is, and it's the last number to the first number. Mm-hmm. So that's the way normal people do it. And I've been trying to hear a lot of people if they do offline drafts, which way they do it. A lot of people also don't do offline drafts.
That's true. Especially
it's very
with
tough
baseball.
As you get older, it's very tough to get a group of people in one room for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
because life changes.
But I love the camaraderie behind it.
It's fun.
Of like everybody out together. We're all joking around with each other. Order some food. Like
it's a great
draft
environment.
should be a very fun environment.
Yeah. You got to have fun when you're picking names out of a hat and you're building an imaginary team that has no real standing in the in the real world. So so snake drafts, hate them. So for our fantasy baseball draft, I'm the commissioner. So I decided, we have 10 teams, and with baseball there's so many good players that doing 10 to 1, like 1 to 10 and 10 to 1 is you're kind of loading up the bottom, like the top and the bottom, the 1 and the 10 team. Like no matter what you do, they're always going to get like kind of Mikey. What was your first 2 picks last year?
First 2 picks was Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton.
Right, so he had 100 home runs right there.
Yes.
Like off the bat, he had 100 home runs. Really kind of hit his skid in like August, but he still managed to have.
Still managed. Let's see.
Yeah, he had.
Judge had 27 and Stanton had 38.
Okay, so yeah.
Which is right around. What was that? That's math. I don't know. 80. So that's about 80 home runs. Yeah, it is, right?
65.
65. I was close.
That's close to 80.
Close to 80.
Right. But no, yeah. So like you could kind of jump on players before, like it's like having it's really kind of favorable to those 2 teams because they could jump on players that you may want later. Mm-hmm. And being the first pick shouldn't always be the best thing. I mean, shouldn't always be a gift. Yeah. So what I decided to do is, we do a by the book draft order pick. We put numbers in the hat. And then the person picks their name. Like that person will pick their number. So I'll pick, Mikey will pick. Then the rest of the league will pick. So whatever number they get is their draft order. So let's say I'm the number 1 pick, which never fucking happens.
No.
Never happens. I don't know why, but I'm never the number 1 pick. So if let's say I'm the number 1 pick and Mikey's the number 5 pick, first round goes through 1 through 10. Easy does it. Then the second round, I drop all the way down to 10, and then everyone else shifts up 1. So 2 becomes the first pick, 3 becomes the second pick, and so on until I'm the last pick. And each round, that top pick drops down to the bottom. So everyone has a chance of being the first pick in the round, and everyone will have a chance of being the last pick of a round.
Yes.
It evens out the league where not one team is like super like stacked unless you know how to draft.
Yeah.
And also it keeps kind of a strategy involved. So people will trade, like we allow trading draft positions. So somebody like go like, oh well, Mikey's the number 5 pick, so he has 5 rounds, and then he'll be the last pick. So he could build up a squad before he starts filling out the rest of his team. Mm-hmm. Me at the number 1 pick, I really have to make that 1 pick count because I'll be filling out until I get back into a good spot.
Yeah. See, I agreed with that for a long time.
Okay.
And these past 2 years, I've actually kind of enjoyed the snake draft.
Well,
so
if you enjoy it, start your own fucking league.
So the way I look at it is, I think that by the time the 10th pick gets a good draft, it's too late in the draft. Like, because by the time they get to like pick 4th, like I think it was like a really solid pick. By the time they pick 4th, that's 6 rounds that passed that they didn't have an opportunity to get a top guy in that round. The idea for, if you're picking 7th, yeah, you get kind of a bad pick the first round, but the second round you get a good pick. So it kind of like evens out and stuff like that. I think it's a very top heavy.
Oh, middle heavy.
Middle heavy. It's a middle heavy rather than an end heavy.
Right.
And that's something that kind of needs to be like kind of worked on.
How?
I don't know how.
After the 5th round, everything just goes into a jumble.
like I don't know how you can make it fair because it's just I think drafts are very unfair in the terms of like the pecking order, you know. I think that's what makes it fair for a 1 to 10 is 10 to 1. Just it kind of brings everything all around. The snake draft is just there's no position you can really get excited for unless you pick fourth or unless you pick fifth. Right. You know, because if you pick fourth or you pick third, you have a really good 3 rounds, and then it's trash up until it comes back around 13 rounds later.
That's why you could do your research, pal.
Yeah, but it's a little too much.
Not really.
It's a little like too unfair.
Says the guy who's in the fucking finals every year.
Well, no, yeah, but
and you don't make any trades.
That's not true. I don't make a lot of trades.
You don't make any trades.
I don't make a lot of trades.
Don't make any
trades. I like to keep my squad. That's the reason why I drafted them. But you know, when it comes down to it, I just think that having to wait 10 rounds to be able to have a good pick again is a little bit too much. No,
it's not a good. It's a pick. It's more of it's fulfilling your roster's needs than it is. Do you take the best player available, or do you take what your team needs?
What your team needs, yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So you could build your team around just stud pick, but then you're left kind of handcuffed into like, oh, now I have like 5 outfielders.
So what I like about I like the consistency of having the 3rd best pick and then the 7th best pick and then the 3rd best pick. I don't like having the 3rd and then the 2nd, then the 1st, and then the 10th, and then the 9th. Like, it's too much once you pass first in order to get a fair draft, like a fair draft in order. And that's my only caveat to that. Mm-hmm. I like the idea because it's a more like it mixes things up and it's different from going 1 to 10 into what like it's a nice mix up. But we call it the machine gun draft. That's what you call it.
Yeah, machine gun draft.
I was a big proponent of it for a really long time because we've done it for 8 years.
Okay, so here's a question. How many picks does it take to fulfill the list of the top 100? How many rounds at 10 teams?
10 rounds.
10 rounds, and you're still picking in the top 100.
Yes.
So no matter what, you're still picking a top 100 guy.
Yes, but I think it's a little unfair because most of those top 100 guys are either going to be outfield or pitchers.
Pull up the top 100 right now.
No, but what I'm saying is there's 32 teams. There is only 20, I would say probably 20 position players like that are in so 36. So in my eyes, 36 teams, right? That means there's 36.
There's not 36 teams. There's 32.
32. Sorry, 32 teams. Yeah, my mind's shot today.
Okay.
Dude. There's 32 good third basemen. You know what I mean? Like there's 32 shortstops. You know, like it's very jumbled in there. There's 3 good outfielders to a team. There's 7 good pitchers to a team. You know, like you're not going to be able to get every position player you need unless you're like. If I have the 2nd round pick,
okay,
like I know that like, oh, I guess I can't go for this guy because I know that I'm gonna get screwed in the back end. So I know that I need to pick this position before I can pick this position. Like, I understand that it's a strategy of having to like draft, but right. I think it's a forced strategy that doesn't need to be there.
Usually, you don't use strategy unless you have to. So,
I mean true.
No one ever goes like, "Oh, I don't have to think about this if I don't need to do it."
I don't know. I think that there's just a reason why Yahoo and Fantasy and ESPN like all have the same kind of draft.
Yeah.
I think it's just the one that works the best and is the more fair. this is like I said, I've liked it for a really long time, but after thinking about it and stuff, like I think with baseball, it's a little bit too unfair.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do.
Like I said, start your own fucking league.
I mean,
I've been running the same thing for 10 years. And each year, no one complains about the draft type.
But that's, well, the last 2 years, people haven't.
Yeah, because last 2 years, no one has because we haven't been together.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So, with 40 minutes left.
40 minutes left. So, back to my original question before we got into this draft order thing. What has been your favorite like memory when it comes to fantasy baseball?
Well, besides winning my championship one year, that was pretty nice. I forgot who I think I beat Joey, which is huge. I think I made 2 trades in 1 year where I got like Brandon Phillips from my buddy Bones for David Ardsma and some other guy, and at that time David Ardsma was the closer for the Mariners, but by the time the middle of the season happened after the trade, he blew out his elbow.
Yikes.
And so that was rough. And then there was 1 year I made a trade to my buddy Flanagan where I traded him Jason Marquez and Vernon Wells for Carlos Gonzalez, because I was saying you need a pitcher and another outfielder. Just give me Gonzalez and
Take it right off your hands.
to get him off your hands, because like Vernon Wells is a set guy. Carlos Gonzalez just took over in Colorado. Give me a shot, and he's like, okay, no problem. And then Carlos Gonzalez had an MVP year that year. Yeah. I was like, all right, that was that. And then also, my friend Chester tried trading me Jamie Moyer for Ryan Braun, and I thought that was hysterical, because it's like I still wouldn't like. Jamie Moyer has never been like the best pitcher on the team he's on.
Oh no,
and
he's never been the ace, right?
Maybe just out of like because he was the ace in Seattle, but that's because there was nothing left in Seattle. It was like Jamie Moyer and like Ichiro, and that was it.
Oh God,
yeah. What about you? What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory. I'm trying to think of fantasy baseball, because I have mine with fantasy football. Hold on, real quick. Sorry for the delay.
You're gonna check your teams out?
I gotta check my teams out because I don't really remember. Alright, so yeah, baseball has never been my real. Last 2 years ago, 2017.
Okay.
I had lost to Joey in the championship. Before that, it was not good. So last year, 2 years ago was like my big one. Last year I got plagued with injuries.
Yeah.
So in 2017, let's see who my team was in 2017. I have a really bad memory. So I lost to Rudy. That's right. And you came in third place then.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh, okay, I remember that. Yeah, so I had Stanton on my team. I had Chris Bryant. I had Chris Davis when he was.
He hit over 200. He hit 215.
Yeah, that's when he was like on his decline.
JT Realmuto, Trey Turner, Justin Turner.
My pitchers, I had Carrasco that year, who went off with 18 wins. Kluber also had 18 wins. So my pitching was pretty great. I had 3 players with over 225 strikeouts. So, it was all around a great season, but last year was a miserable way to follow up. I ended up in 5th place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and
well,
that
5th
was...
place, you made the playoff. Time out. Go back to it, because you made the playoffs, and how far did you get? You lost. You won the 5th place game.
I won the 5th place game, yeah. I lost in the quarterfinal against Chester.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a fun.
Lordy.
It was not a good matchup. He had a good team. He made it to the 3rd place game.
Yep.
He lost in the semifinals. So, but the thing that I think kind of helped at that time was that was the first year that we did the online draft.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was.
No, I know. I'm just saying it didn't help you.
No, yeah, it definitely did.
No, it didn't.
It definitely did. You know how hard it is to go through, like, and actually pay attention with actually drafting?
Go down a little further. So you finished... Okay, so we have a 5th, a 6th, a 2nd, a 4th. You're relatively the same. As long as you pay attention to your team, you're fine.
And I'm pretty consistent when it comes down to that.
Right. The thing is, it's just a draft. You can.
I'm consistent at either being good or being mediocre. So that's kind of where I shuffle in.
I mean, as someone
2013, yeah, I lost to Joey.
Yeah. Everyone loses to Joey.
Yeah. Oh my God, his team was fucking stacked that year. Batista, Beltray, Goldschmidt, Adam Jones, Brandon Phillips, Hanram. My God.
What year was this?
2013.
2013.
So Grinke had 15 wins. Medlin had 15.
Verlander.
Yeah, Kuroda. Andy Pettit was still playing in 2013. So yeah, I got washed that year. He beat me 12-8. But
that's after. It's also a 2-week championship. So if you don't pull it together in the first week, you still have the second week to come around.
That's true. Oh, and this team, I was stacked with this team. I had Trout, I had Puig, I had Matt Carpenter, who was like I think one of his first years of batting over 300, right? Mm-hmm. Napoli, who was doing good at that. He had 23 home runs.
Got a lot of production at Unieski Betancourt.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like Adam Dunn had 30 home runs.
It's CC Adam Wainwright had 19 wins that year.
Look at my pitching, dude. Adam Wainwright, CC Sabathia, Tim Lincecum, Cliff Lee.
Yeah. All of these guys you wouldn't have gotten if you did a snake draft.
I had 19 wins with Wainwright. Shelby Miller gave me 15. AJ Griffin, Cliff Lee. I had 4 pitchers with 14 wins.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how I lost the championship. Like, my team was stacked.
Because you didn't pay attention.
That's not true. I made it to the finals. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
So we kind of brought it up. When did we bring it up? We were talking less about our good buddy Chester.
Oh, that was earlier in the show. No, you mean like last with how he drafts, like
with how he drafts.
Oh, that was last episode. Yeah.
Oh, we did talk about it last episode.
Yeah,
right?
He's a fucking wild man. That guy.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on, but like,
no,
I would just go mad.
No, you don't want him on. It's just gonna be a Met-centric podcast. It's gonna be me on the Pick Last podcast and the Cowboys. It's gonna be him and the Mets and Dan Marino somehow is gonna get their own in there.
Oh, he'll throw it in.
He's gonna talk about Keith Hernandez, and then he's gonna talk about fucking Dan Marino.
Yep. But I mean, all right, like, no draft is perfect. We'll see what happens. We'll bring it up at the draft. See
what everybody wants.
We should have a record number of people there. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens.
Let's hope so. Yeah. Let's hope so. I'm looking at my fantasy football now, and this past few years wasn't that great, but if you go back down to 2016, second, I got a third place in 2015. 2014 got first place. Second place. A lot of 8th and 9ths there, but those are all public leagues that I stopped paying attention to. Second place. Yeah. Never did basketball. Did hockey once. Came in 11th.
Hey.
I stopped paying attention after the first week.
See, that's a problem. See, that's also a big problem with fantasy sports is that people lose interest immediately. I also feel the reason why the machine gun draft works a lot better is because it's entertaining to pay attention to where you are, who you draft, and all that. Because some of these guys stop caring right after day one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think that when it comes to fantasy sports that's not fantasy football, it's tough because you have to pay attention every day.
Oh, yeah.
or at least a few, like two times a week.
Right.
2 or 3 times a week. With fantasy football, it's honestly like
once a week.
Thursday in the middle of the day before the Thursday night game, make sure you have your games played.
Right.
And then on Sunday, that's when you have up until 1 o'clock to make sure.
Saturday at like 12:30 in the morning. Like, all right, I get it done.
Like it's a tough fantasy sport to go through, but you know.
Yeah.
Now I have something to look forward to. Like I get to hang out with all my friends. I get to see everybody and fuck around with everybody and drive some baseball. But
Mikey's thrilled because this is the one event where he's not made fun of the most.
This is true.
He's actually like one of the cool kids.
Yeah, I'm actually like You know what it is? Because me and Joey are real cool. So, like, nobody fucks with me when me and Joey are just sitting there fucking picking on everybody.
It's also because
if you look at everybody else in the
Rudy doesn't give 2 fucks about anyone.
No,
he's just he just comes in, my favorite memory of our fantasy draft is when we did it the one year at your house, and we were all in your dining room.
Yes.
And so a lot of people came out. It was really cool.
We had a full dining room table was completely full.
I think we only had the auto draft one guy's team. But our friend Rudy, he was sitting. He texted me. He's like, "Give me like 10 minutes. I'll be in." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So he comes in, and Mikey's grandmother was kind enough to open the door for him. And Rudy's, I guess, 6'3", 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a tall, big dude.
He's a tall guy. He's
got some weight behind him.
He's got some power to him, and he was aggressively high.
Yeah, aggressively stunk up my entire living room of weed.
I smelled him coming down the stairs. I'm like, whoa, and he's hugging your grandma like, oh, it's so great to meet you. Thanks for having me.
It was the funniest thing in the world because my grandma is oblivious, and she still is today, but totally oblivious. And, like, my mom comes in and, like, later on and she says hi to everybody. And you could tell she smelled exactly, Rudy.
And he sat, like, right across from me the whole time. And I'm like,
you're getting a contact tie just sitting next to him. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
he actually started the, because it's, 23 rounds? So it was a 12th round food get. Like, all right, break for food.
Yeah.
There was more cigarette breaks that day than any time. That was a good time, and then also, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to remember all the other drafts, but that one stands out always, and that will always stand out as my favorite.
Yeah. Trying to think.
Because we also had softball practice earlier in that day, so we were all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time at the firehouse too was was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we're going back.
Which firehouse is this? Is the one your old one?
Yeah, truck one.
Gotcha. So it should be a really fun time.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for it. Excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited for baseball season this year. I need something that's not work and school to kind of keep my mind off of.
I'm going to more. I made a deal with myself to go to more baseball games this year. Whether in state or out of state, I'm gonna go to them. So I'm definitely gonna take a Wednesday trip down to Philadelphia to watch Bryce Harper and the rest of those fucking Phillies play.
Yeah, let me know because I on a weekend I definitely want to go. I definitely want to take a ride to Philly.
All right.
I definitely want to go to more Met games, and I want to go to at least 1 or 2 Yankee games this year.
How many times have you been to the new Yankee Stadium?
6 or 7.
Okay.
The last 2 years were tough because I wasn't really well financially. Now with my new position at work, I'm actually able to save money.
To jingle in the pocket.
Yeah, so I actually
have a shaker cup known as a bank. And you're like,
I actually have more money in my savings account now. That's not just the $50 that needs to be in my savings account. Or no, I think it's $5. I think it's $5.
So you don't get charged for overdraft.
Yeah. So I'm required to have $5 in my savings account. This is
credit union.
This is the first time that I have money that's not just $5 in my savings account. Everything else was in my checking account because I had to spend it.
Build that equity, baby.
Yeah. So, I got money hidden in my room somewhere, like saving up money.
No, I see it. It's not hidden. It's actually in a clear jar right there.
No, yeah, it really is.
Public.
It's not hidden.
It's like 3 shelves down in the cleanest jar I've ever seen.
You know what? I'm kind of mad that you saw it right away.
I fucking clocked that immediately.
So you'd be surprised how much money is actually in there. Because it just looks like not a lot, but there's a lot in there.
It looks like there's about a couple of hundreds. There's a couple of fives. A lot of change. I'm gonna say maybe around $300.
All right.
Was it close?
Yeah, it's 200. It's it's a $100 bill and then a bunch of
small bills,
of like 20s and 10s and 5s.
Yeah, don't test the kid. Your man knows money.
Actually, there might be more in there.
Well, maybe 300 now.
Maybe, but I think it might be close.
Let's count it penny by penny.
All
right, guys. So that will do it for the show this week. Next time we come back, we'll be doing more of a prediction, more of a season recap. We'll give you our who's going to do what's going to do who, and maybe we'll go into a playoffs preview, a World Series preview, all off the knowledge of nothing.
All of the knowledge of 4 weeks of spring training.
Right.
Obviously these last 2 episodes have kind of just been like gearing us up for baseball. Like there's really not much to talk about.
Not yet.
But once the season starts going, like we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. There's gonna be a lot of these free flowing episodes during baseball season.
Oh yeah. Oh,
statistically,
to be real with you
baseball's
guys,
very boring.
The reason why we're doing it bi-weekly is so we can let things build up and talk about it that way.
I need to figure out like top 10 lists that will get us through like 24 weeks.
Yeah, like now. Remember when we used to blog top 10 lists?
I remember when I used to blog. I don't know what you fucking people.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't invited to do the Fan and Ball Player.
Yeah,
I did one guest post.
You were still there.
I was a guest.
No, you were a part of it.
No, I wasn't. I did the design for it.
Now
It was you and Flanagan and Tommy's. That's Tommy's post about the Space Jam and Magic and
yeah, he did
the secret.
He said the secret juice was weed.
Yeah,
obviously it's steroids.
Yeah, like I didn't get it.
You dumbass.
So we could start bringing those back. Best position players, best movie lineup, best position players.
Yeah, maybe
from movies.
BuzzFeed will steal it from us again.
Yeah, those fucking sacks of shit,
motherfuckers.
God damn it,
motherfuckers. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Yeah. Goodbye.
Enjoy. Oh wait,
what?
Where can they find you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do
Bryan.
Let's do that. Some housekeeping.
Yeah.
You could find me over on Twitter at Movie Mayhem Pod, on Instagram at Movie Mayhem Podcast, and on TeePublic Movie Mayhem Podcast. You can just look it up.
And I'm looking at your shirt right now. It's a really dope Yankee shirt.
It's a Movie Mayhem and Bronx shirt.
Oh yes, Bronx.
The Bronx,
is blue and white, and what other team is blue and white in the Bronx?
The
Yankee,
the Bodega Cats.
Oh, the Bodega Cats. The Bodega Cats.
And look, I'm just
from
saying.
The XFL.
I'm just saying, shirt will go well with some Timbs and a flat brim.
That's true. That's true. A little snapback.
But also, if you're not a fan of that, you could also get one that's kind of Queens inspired.
Oh, yes.
It's a little bit more gothic-y.
Gothic-y.
It's got a sweet bend to it. I realize I got to kind of reset it. I set it up way too high. So it's like right around my neck.
Yeah, it's got to drop it down a little bit.
Put it between the tits, so I got to do that. I'll fix that up. It's now a collector's item.
You could find me on Twitter at mdquat or Instagram. Oh wait, no, Twitter is dquats.
Yeah, it's on your card.
Yeah, that's true. I specifically asked that to be there. Dquats on Twitter, mdquat on Instagram. You can find me at the G Fuel Twitch channel.
What?
On Fridays and Sundays. Come hang out.
If they ever decide to stream MLB The Show, give your boy a call so I could school all you fools.
Dude, I would love to do like a weekly
boring.
Sports, like
I've been trying.
Weekly sports like show of Twitch, like twitching. That's something.
I twitch all the time because that's because I'm missing my heroin. But I mean,
please don't really be doing heroin.
No, I'm too fat for that.
All right, good. That's good news. That's good news.
It's good news. It's great news.
All right. Well, that does it for us. Also, hit up. You're gonna be on the Landy Lodge.
I will be on the Landy Lodge at the Landy Lodge on Instagram. Landy.lodge. I'll let you know a little bit later.
Yeah.
That will be coming out eventually. You could hit up Andrew of the Pick Last Podcast at Parks X Core on Twitter and Instagram, and also he's on Bulldog at Bulldog Gaming.
Yep. He also was just on the Landy Lodge podcast.
That's right.
Mine's coming up in April.
Yep. He's getting saving the best for last.
That's true.
Well,
That's
worst
right.
for last.
Or the best. The both.
On the
both of best world. On the best of both worlds.
Wait, I'm the I like that. That's
yeah, right.
That's your phrase now. You're the both of best worlds.
Both of best worlds.
Yeah. Also, you can hit us up at Pick Less Pod on Twitter. That's you'll see us mostly, and also check out our friend Prokowski's blog at Charging the Mound. A lot of plugs, a lot of outlets. Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's it.
All right,
that's the show.
That's awkward.
All right,
let's make it awkward now.
Smile less, guys.
Put it in your pipe and then